Hello everyone, I'm Vicky StitchNButton and I am here for a special edition of my WIP parade. This is going to be the end of year WIP parade. I've got a big pile as you can see right here. Did pull them all out. I think I'm going to put them back in their bags as I go along so I don't get lost. It's a lot. I think I've counted about 34, maybe, somewhere around there. Anyway, it's taken me a bit to pull them all out and find them all. I have coffee, and I'm ready to go. I think I've pulled all the photos, like either printed or pulled them, except for one. And that way I don't have to edit. That's what I say. Okay, so the first one I have is the one, I think it's the very last one I've started. And this one is going to be Christmas Elves. This is a Romy's creation design. You can get this from her. You just have to message her. If you can find her on Facebook. And I think she's got, yeah, romyscreations.it. And that is her email, romina74@gmail.com. This is still available. It is a PDF. She does send the English and Italian version. I decided to do mine in the Italian version for a friend of mine, and I think I want to make mine into a drum. I'm going to see what it looks like when it's done. I think it's going to be a drum. It's not wavy, it's just the way it's on the Q-snap. This is Dove Fabric, which is the parent company, the parents of Fabric Flare, and it was the snowflake print. This is something that I bought over 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure it's been over 10, yeah. It's got to be 12 to 14 years ago I bought this. So, that is WIP number 1. That's the one I'm working on. I want to try to get it done. I actually worked on it last night a bit. I was watching Returning the Favor on Facebook. I love that show. Anyway, I got some more of this put in, and instead of moving the Q-snaps, I've moved down to the presents and started putting the white in for the presents. I am using a lot of Romy's threads, except for B5200 and black. This is the one where I don't have a picture, but I've shown the picture plenty of times, and I'm almost done. I just have back stitching to do, and you'll see I'm still... I did all the back stitching around the letters. I've done the backstitch stems going up the path. I did the brown going down the path, and I've done the brown in the windows. I did one little set of Lazy Daisy stitches. You can even barely see them. They're in there though. And then I have 2 more stems that have them. And then a bunch of straight stitches and French knots. And I am done. All the black is done around the cottage. I'm happy with it. And this is part of my Finish That Stitch December. So is this Christmas Elves. That is by Mary Engelbright. It's in a book, so you'd have to find the Mary Engelbright book that it's in. I forget which one it was. Another one that I had started, I think I needed a building, and this was already kitted up. This is Christmas Eve Ride by Needle Bling. This is also still available. You can buy this from Hoffman, or not Hoffman, from they can get it from Hoffman, so any of your local needlework shops, yeah, or Jen at the Whole Stitching Caboodle, and Cindy Sorley from Stitchery Express. All of them can get it. This is really cute. I am doing mine on some Fabric for You fabric, and this is how far I've gotten. I started this because I needed to stitch a building for one of my challenges on Magical Stitches, so it started, and that's how far I got. And I just dropped the chart on the dog. Where's its bag? Okay, that bag goes over there. Told you I need to put the stuff in the bag, or else I'm gonna get stuff lost. Yeah, this is 32 count Lugana. It's from Fabric for You. I think I bought it on eBay or something. Pretty sure it was an eBay purchase. There's one. Okay, this one I also did not print out the picture for, and I've shown it several times. This is called Elevenses. It's a play off of The Hobbit. And I am stitching this all in carriage black on a piece of fabric. It's called Witch's Brew from Dames of the Needle. Pretty sure it's 36 count. Now this is the Witch's Brew without the blue spots. She has some with blue spots also. I did most of this within a couple of nights when I first joined Semi-Sane. I'd like to get this done by the end of the year if I can. I just have afternoon tea, supper and dinner, or dinner and supper left to do, and it's done. It's all letters, so it's pretty easy. Hopefully I can get that done. I don't know. We'll see. It would be nice to get it done for December. Next, I had to restart this one because I had made a mistake, and I was doing it on 18 count Ada, and I had a good over 200 stitches in, and I wasn't picking them out, so they went. And I restarted this on some 26 count Lugana, and it's from Silkweave, or no, it's Weigert. Almost positive it's Weigert. And it is this picture right here. It's that's Swoop, which is the Eagle mascot. Philadelphia Eagles, you know. Anyway, I did mine in the newer Eagles colors, but I'm doing this for a friend who likes the traditional Eagles colors, the Kelly Green. So I'm doing it again. This is my second time stitching it. Mine's already framed. And I got pretty far. I got his little foot and his wing in. And I don't know if I'll be able to get this done this month. This is another one I'd like to get done. It's a lot of big blocks of color, so it's not that hard. This is 26 count, so I am actually using 4 strands of thread on this. It's all DMC. And it's got the sparkle. It's a silver sparkle, so I think it's going to be really cool. That is Swoop. Let's see. Okay. Next one. I had abandoned this for a while, but it's still a WIP, and I had pulled it back out. I was eyeing it up. And I think I'll finish it. What this is Beggar's Fourth, and this is by Threadwork Primitives. This is what he looks like. I like the Beggar series, and I chose, let's see, Americana Frost from Dames of the Needle, and I am using Black Coffee from Classic Colorworks. I'm using Cowboy Blue, one of my dead threads, and it's for, they don't make them anymore, Free Spirit, and then a Victoria Motto Scarlet Oak is the red, and then for the white I'm using French Vanilla from Gentle Arts. And this is how far I've gotten, and it's 1/2 on the Americana Frost. I love this color fabric. Love it. It's a little bit, it's got a little bit more of a reddish tone to it than what's showing up. But I did pretty decent on that before I had put it away. But I've decided to pull it back out, so it's a good thing, right? I don't know when I'll work on it. Next year. Next year. In the plans. Okay, another one that I have worked on a lot less since I got into the backstitch letters sort of screeched to a halt, and that is Let's Do Coffee by Imaginating. This is an Ursula Michael design. She does a lot of these with the letters, and I am stitching this one on 36 count linen doesn't have a color. It's from Vicky Clayton, and I'm using Vicky Clayton Silks. Again, cannot get any of that anymore, but this is where I've gotten to. I've used it for a couple of challenges, but not too many because I hate counting back stitches. But it's looking pretty decent. It's got hope. It's got hope. This one goes back in my bag from my friend Connie. Miss Connie. Alright. Then there's one that I got a very menial start on. I don't know why I only got that much done. I thought I got a little bit more done than that. It's called Winds of Change. It is by the Cricket Collection. It was a freebie that I received. This is what, I mean, it's a freebie, so that's what it looks like. There's no picture. So that's what it looks like. I am doing mine with dead threads. Again, 6-strand sweets, Windy Hill. Yeah, that's what I'm using. And then Barely Blue Joblin 28 count. I've decided to stitch it on, and I think this is the right side up if I'm not mistaken, because there's only 4 checkers on it. Very short and sweet. There it is. Is that? It's a little bit darker blue than that. It looks gray to me. Alright. But it was a start, so I'm showing it. That goes in this bag. I then have I almost forgot about this one. This one is called, I don't have a picture for it. It's one of the M Design trees, and it's called America. And I don't know if you can get them anymore. This is, I started at 1/1 and using good old Dinky dyes. It's on 32 count Lugana from Silk Weaver. It looks like it's a limited edition color. And this is as far as I've gotten on it. I didn't work on it too much, maybe once or twice for a little bit each time last year. I was going to give up on it, and I decided not to just yet. It's still there, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do an adopt a WIP, or maybe I'll just finish it. I do like it. It's this. Oh. It's the threads to go with that. Couldn't figure that out. This is an old makeup case that I'm using, because you could put 3 smalls in there. And a thread. Alright. Next we have a thread out. That's what we have. Put that back. It's one of the reasons why I was doing it 1/1, because I wasn't sure if I could get any more of this. And I wasn't going to have enough thread if I did it using 2 strands and full size. So my next one is Elegant Squid. This is what it looks like. Well, the design anyway, because mine doesn't look like that. I'm doing mine on Spring Garden from Silk Weaver, and I do believe it's a 28 count. And there it is. I'm using Romy's Creation threads for the gray and the green. And this is another one I want to get done this year. Because when I get this one done, I'm going to start Henna Mandala, also by Ink Circles. Replace one ink circles with another, right? So, next, please. I decided later in the year that I wanted to do a whole bunch of the Prairie Schooler Santas. This is the first one I started with. And I decided to start my own palette with it. And I'm basing it off of my favorite color, Cupid, from Crescent Colorworks. And this is how far I got. He's got one leg with a hole in it. And a stick. And a half a snowflake. But it's progress, and I've been keeping them all in here. I am stitching them all on 32 count, Dirty U, from Dames of the Needle. So they'll all be on the same fabric, and they'll all use the same colorways, and I'll keep all the colors together. I'm using some Crescent colors. I'm using, I think it's all Crescent colors if I'm not mistaken. Crescent color, classic color work, depends what I had, what there was old stock and new stock, so I keep it. And then it looks like I chose a couple of DMCs. So that's how far I got with that one. And every time I get another one, another design of it, I mean another one of the charts, I just put it in there. It'll be ongoing. My next one, I was hoping to maybe get this done this year, maybe early next year, but it's Midsummer Night Fairy from Mirabilia. This, I do believe, is still available. And I'm doing it with all the called for colors, including the called for fabric, which would be a 32 count Stony Point linen from Witchelt. She got a little bit of work, what, about a week or so ago? A little over a week ago. And this is how far I've gotten with her. Her whole skirt's done. And I started on her skin and her wings. I have a couple of the leaves to finish. I'm wondering if I should... I don't know if that's going to wash it out or not. I have a couple more of the leaves to finish. And then a whole bunch of Krynic. But she's looking good. Once I'm done her, then it's on to the Happy Hooker, which is the Baker's Wife that just came out about a month or so ago. Did she come out in November? October? I don't know. I bought her. And I just have to figure out what fabric I want to put her on. I'm not sure yet. Not sure. So, once I finish this one, I will start a new Mirabilia, which will be the Happy Hooker Sal. Stay tuned. Okay. I needed to do something with people for one of the challenges, and I went through my Sooner book, and I chose to do a cricket collection. It's from the Down to the Sea leaflet, and I'm doing the sailing. I think it's called Sailing, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm not doing the regatta sweater. Anyway, I'm doing these guys. Scratch that. I'm stitching these guys. I don't even know them. And I didn't want to use the really dark blue that they chose, only because it looks like black. So instead of going that dark, I changed it up a little bit. I forget exactly what color I chose, but it's a DMC. I'm stitching all on DMC. It's Popeye, the Sailor Man, because do this. He fits until I can stitch his head on. There you go. He's got no feet. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's how far I got on that. And I think I have... Let me see what fabric this one is. A great fabric. And I should have written it down. Should have, anyway. I didn't have to write it down because I kept the paper. It's Jaslyn, 28 count Jaslyn. It's a solo from Silk Weaver. Some great jazzy fabric. Anyway, I only got that far on them. I had to do like 500 stitches or something like that, and I knocked those out real quick. So there's that one. And next, last year I finished my Lemons, Limes, and More pillow, and then I did a poll on my Facebook, and the winner was, because I wanted to do another pillow, the Grapes pillow. These are all pillows from Donna Vermilion Giampa, and they're in, I should hold this piece of paper in front of this camera, that's really rude. They're all from the Just Cross Stitch magazine. So I think I have just about all of them, or at least all the ones I want to stitch. And I started this one, and all of that purple in there, that's all blended. The whole corner is blended. And I did explain how I do my blends, and use a gridded piece of Veda to preload a whole bunch of needles. I forget what video that was in. But it really helps when you have to blend a whole bunch. This looks really good. It almost looks like blueberries to me, don't it? Anyway, they're grapes. That's how far I got. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Got grapes in my watermelon bag. That way. Here you go, I'll show you. For those that may have missed the one where I explained it. I preload, I'll take 2 bits, one of each color I'm going to need. And then I pull them apart. And I'll match up the blends together, and I'll preload 6 needles. What I've done is each color on the key gets a number. I just go to start from the top and work my way down. Each one gets a number. So then I wrote all the numbers in this grid. It fits up to 49 colors. I guess it would fit 50 if I wasn't. I use this to park the empty needles when I'm not using them. But that's how I do it. And that way I can just load a whole bunch at the same time and not have to worry about stopping for too long once I want to stitch. And I just do it as I go along too, as I need the color. But it works for me. Doesn't work for Hades. I tried it on a Hades originally, and I just decided parking was easier on the Hades than it was to do the preloaded. So that works for me. If you have any questions, just ask below or message me and I'll try to explain better. Okay. Next, I also had, for semi-sane, I started something that Vicky Hartwell was also stitching. She's Vicky Reading and Stitching, I think, on Flosstube. And to get extra points or whatever, I had to match up something she had already started. Well, she had already started the bookshelf from Little House, so I kitted it up real quick. And here goes a picture of what it'll look like. I'm using DMC. And I forget which fabric I chose. It's an even weave. It was simple, and I think it just needs a simple fabric, and I'm loving it. It was easy to work up to this point. So that's how far I got on it. And then other challenges came up, and this has been put away for right now. I think it's going to look really nice and crisp. This needle minder is cool. It's Aesop's Fables. I figured since I'm doing a bookshelf, that I do believe I bought at Mad for Minders, if I'm not mistaken. And you think I knew somebody that made project bags or something. This one ended up in a plastic bag. That's okay. This is Lamb's Wool Joblin, by the way. I did write it down. It's 32 count. So, we're almost done. Not bad. Okay. We're over halfway through. How about that? Next one is One Nation. One big ass nation. It's looking so good though. I'm doing mine on 32 count. I think it's pretty sure it's 32 count. And it's Creek Bed Brown by Arnor. And I'm using the called for threads, which is the original Crescent colors, which is where I found Cupid and fell in love. And this is how far I've gotten. I made Pennsylvania in gold because that's where I'm from. And I just used a goldish yellow from Victoria Motto Sampler. And I use this for a lot of challenges. I was able to get in a lot of stitches for a lot of challenges, especially all these words. I had to do reds, I had to do letters, I had to do borders. So, this is almost the end here. Not bad, not bad. Looking good. Maybe I'll get this done this year. I mean, Catty Sue Cat can do 2 of them in a year. I could surely finish one in the span of 2 years, right? Put me to shame. She pounded out 2 of them. One for her, one for her mom. I was impressed. This one, because it's only 3 colors, I'm using my Bitsy Bob from that So Kelly Star Wars. I know she doesn't have the Star Wars ones anymore. I bought one of the last ones. It's over a year ago. Okay. Let's see. What is next? We're going to go for Dorothy's Discovery. And I have my... Oh, where did I put it? Oh! I started carrying these just so I could put it on my Wizard of Oz projects as I do them. This is a Tim Burton Wizard of Oz needle minder. It's in my shop and on my Facebook group. Anyway, I'm going to replace the needle minder I have on there, which is a cute little gummy bear. I haven't pulled this out, obviously, since I got these needle minders. And I still haven't decided which bling I'm going to use on the shoes and Emerald City, but I worked on this a lot for a few different challenges. So I was able to get most of the words done, the whole entire skirt. Okay, so that's wrong. I shouldn't say the whole entire skirt. All but 8 stitches on the skirt are done, because I was running out of time and I had to do something that was going to be really quick and all one color, and this was going to be 4 stitches of one blue and 4 stitches of another. So that's how far I got on her. This one I am using, hold the bag up so I can tell you. I am using most of the called for colors, I think. Oh, I am such a liar. I changed up a whole bunch of stuff, didn't I? I'm using half and half. I changed up some things. But I'm using a lot of Gentle Arts and some DMCs and Weeks Dye Works and a Classic Colorworks in there. I know I changed one of the blues. And I'm using a Victoria Motto for the lettering. And the fabric is Heartland by Picture This Plus in 32 count Heartland. I do believe this is one of our new colors from this year. And I thought it was perfect. It's got just enough yellowish tone, but not too much to wash out the brick road. Be nice to get her done soon, because I have a couple more Wizard of Oz I want to start. Alright, next is one I haven't worked on in a while. This one's called Olivia Oak Relief, and it's by Silver Creek samplers. You can still get this. I think this is from 2018. I think that's when it was released, if I'm not mistaken. And it says, I'll read it. She wears a dress of scarlet and orange leaves overhead that sparkle with a frosty glow, soon buried in a winter snow. 2017 was when it was released. I started it in 2018 though. And I am stitching this on something that's called Kale, and that's from Vicki Clayton. And I do believe, I want to say it's a 32 count. It's a really pale green, but not, you can tell it wasn't a bright green. It was more going to be a dark green, like almost like they had dark green and washed it out as much as they could. And that's as far as I've gotten on her. It's a lot of stop and start, and I think that's part of the issue on why it's taken me so long to really get motivated with her. I'm going to double check. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, yes, it is called Kale, and it is 32 count. And I subbed out a lot of stuff. I didn't have all the colors, so whatever I didn't have, I sort of just subbed out what I had, whether it be Gentle Arts or DMC or other Weeks Dye Works. I think because I just wanted to get it started, and I didn't feel like having to go out and buy or wait for an order. So you do it. It's not like I don't have threads. I mean, that pink thing is full of threads. So you use what you got. And next is Good Friends. Good Friends is by Sue Hillis. And the one I'm doing from here so far is this one. It says, good friends make each other laugh. Really good friends go for the snort. Now, I've decided not to do this row of flowers. It was annoying. It's annoying stitches if you think about it. A couple here, a couple there, a couple here, a couple there. It didn't need it. It didn't make or break it. It actually broke it up a little bit too much, the saying, for my work. I mean, for my taste. And I'm doing it 1/1. Or did I do it? I think I might even done 2/1. I don't know. This is as far as I've gotten. And it's over halfway finished. It shouldn't take too much longer if I could just sit down and do it. It's the 1/1 part that gets to you. Right? Alright. I am going to have to pause. Alright, much better. I did take a minute to look. This is on 25 count Ivory Lugana, and I think I did 1/1. Although I think I did a couple of the letters, like the green. I think I did in 2 because I lost my mind. I don't know what I was thinking. It doesn't look bad, so it'll work, right? It's all DMC. Okay. Next. Goodness, the pile's getting lower. There's still enough to show, I'll tell you. Next one is Sail and Remember This by the Primitive Needle. This one has taken me forever and a day. It shouldn't take that long. I mean, it's a lot of lettering. But, again, I cursed myself by doing 1/1. Where I've gotten so far. And the reason why I did 1/1, by the way, is because it's so darn long. I didn't have a piece of fabric that would fit it otherwise, and I really like this fabric. And I'm stitching it on, and I'm gonna see what I can I'm using Vicky Clayton silk. I do know that. What did I write on my notes? I don't think that's on Heritage. I know it's not. What's the fabric? Sorry. I didn't write down the fabric and it's been so long. I can almost guarantee though that this is a picture of this plus fabric. Almost positive. I mean, it's even browner than that. No, that doesn't look good either. Oh, that's still a lot lighter than what it looks like. It's brown. It's like, it looks like somebody spilled some dark, like, milk chocolate all over it. It's a really cool brown. Lighting. Anyway, the stitches look really cute. Look at that. I know I have to change the lettering down at the bottom, change the spelling on one of the words. Once I get down there. Actually, this might be for never. I don't know. I've got a minute. I wish I would have wrote down what fabric I'm using on that. I'm not pulling out what I know I probably have another picture somewhere, but I'm not pulling out. Anyway, next. My next one is by Stitchline, which is now Stitch Area on Etsy. Not sure what that's about, but they changed their name on Etsy. This is Vader, and I saw this on Instagram for a good part of 6 months, pop up here and there. I think Minty Stitcher did it, if I'm not mistaken. I kept on saying, I was like, oh, I like it, no, I like it, no, I like it. Yes, so I bought it. And I am stitching it on a piece of Vicky Clayton fabric, and this is 36 count. It's that purple that I used on my Edgar Allan Poe piece. Let's see, it's not going to pull up the purple the way I want it to. Because it really is a rich, there you go. It's a really rich purple, see that color? Anyway, here's the stitches that I've gotten into it so far. I did use this for a couple of challenges from School of Magical Stitches. And the needle minder is one that I carry at my Etsy shop and or my Facebook group. So if you like it, let me know. And this is in my pristine bag. I love my bag pristine. Oh my god. Okay, next. Mini Space Traveler. This is the retired, aka out of print, aka you still can't get it chart. And I am doing this on 22 count. That's how far I've gotten. There's Krynick in there. I'm still trying to get these blocks to come in and fill those in so I can start going block by block. But so far, that's how far I've gotten into it. There's some empty spaces that I really need to fill in, but it's slow going. I haven't felt like working on a lot of full coverage the past couple of weeks. I don't know. Although, I didn't mind starting them all of a sudden, did I? But I'll get back to them eventually. I gotta fill in more of that TARDIS, get some white in there so you can tell it actually says something. Although, from when I looked at the stitches, you're not going to be able to read that it actually says police call box. It's just going to look like some white, what the hell's going on there. But, it's getting there. I have also started going through the floss lists because I got the idea from Carla at Craft Addict K, some of these skeins that they say you need only has but so many stitches, and since I'm doing it with 1/1, I probably need like half of it. So if I only need a half skein, then why do I need to have everything in there with as much floss as these use? So I've decided that I'm gonna go through and figure out what I need as far as when I take a new skein of floss. I take the I take the one end and I pull it all the way out, the whole entire thing, and then I run through and I put the two ends together and go through and I put like that, and I cut it in half. I end up with about 8 pieces that are just over a yard long each. After that, if I'm doing 2, I just pull one strand out of the piece, one of the 8 pieces that I have, and I fold it in half, and I do a loop method. But with one strand, I end up cutting that in half, and then I pull one strand out. What I've done is I've reached out to a couple of friends who then sent me charts on how many stitches you can get in a skein of floss according to your stitch count on your fabric. And I was able to print out a chart to tell me how many stitches I can get on this. On all of them, actually. It's here. And it goes from 6 all the way up to 40 count. And mine didn't print out all the way for some reason. It printed out landscape instead of portrait. But, great. I am going to have to figure out the bottom part and write it in. Because it goes 21, 24, and this is 22 count. Figures. Alright, anyway. So it tells me how many stitches you can get out of a skein, so I'm sort of rounding up. And if I only need 2 of these, you know, 1/8 of a skein, then why would I have the whole skein in there? And then I'm going to put it on a project card. So I figured it out for Anhalt Castle that I'm starting January 15th. I figured that out, so I don't need to buy so much DMC if I don't have it in my stash already. So I won't need to buy as much, and then I need to sit down and figure it out for the rest of them. And what's that, 4 or 5 heights that I have going on? I think that's going to save me some money from buying extra. I mean, yeah, it's always great to have extra DMC, but it always seems to be like the colors you aren't going to use. So I think I'd rather do that, and maybe I won't have so much of this going on. That's what I'm thinking. So that's my thought on that. And I personally like mine totally kitted out. It gives me a sense of security. I know people borrow from each project, but that gets me a little paranoid. I feel like I'm going to be in the middle of doing something. I'm not going to have that color. It's going to drive me crazy. And it's not that far from me. You don't even have to start the car. It's like you can walk down to the end of the driveway. Boom. I'm nuts. We all know this. So my next one is this Riolis kit that J Long and I started together last March. J Long. And she sent this to me. It's a kit. It's got the woolly type threads. And I am stitching this. It's on the called for fabric. I do believe it's 14 count Ada. And I started in the bottom right hand corner. I think J Long started in the middle or in the top left. But this is how far I've gotten. And again, this is another one that I'm trying to get, so I'm going block by block. And I also think I was trying to hold it in hand like this and keep it rolled up. And I was going to work up to the top and then back, you know, like that. But I think I'm going to bite the bullet. I think I'll get more done if I put it in a Q-snap and or a hoop. That's my thought. Or I'd say scroll rod, but it's not giving me enough down the bottom and top to really do that, to get it around the rod and not touch, you know. So I think a Q-snap and or a hoop. It's looking good. A little bit that I got done. I did grit out the fabric with one of those marking pens. That'll all come out. Matter of fact, it's already fading where my hands must have been a little sweaty. I got my markers from AliExpress. I think it cost me like $1.22. And I kept on wondering why some of them kept on fading. Like, and I'll show you on Aqua City. I gritted this and it disappeared. And I'm like, why did it do that? Yeah, if you read the markers, 2 of them are air disappear and 2 are water soluble. About that. So apparently the pink one disappears by air. The blue is water soluble. But for $1.22, I mean, it's not a horrible thing. I just didn't pay attention. You know. And I can't stop touching my hair because I washed it and it keeps on falling on my face. It's touching my face. Oh, I'm not sure if you're curious or not. Realist kits, they come on these extra bobbinating bobbin things, and they're a pain in the butt to pull. It's all one length wrapped around there, so you have to take off. So what I've done is I take 1 yard pieces. I do believe they're 1 yard pieces, and I'll do a few at a time, and I put it on this Paco thing by number. And what I've done, since I have spaces in between, so this one I used some of it and I just pulled it over to the side here so I know it's a portion of a length and not a whole length. I don't know if that helps or not, but that's how I do it. Works for me. Anyway, as I need them, I'll take off a bunch and then I'll throw them on here so I'm not stopping and starting so much. But to do the whole thing at once would also drive me crazy. Again, it's not a long trip there, so think smarter, not harder, right? I still think I'm going to beat J Long at finishing this. And if she doesn't step it up, I'm going to finish One Nation before she does also. Come on, and you're further than me, J Long, and One Nation, I know you are. Let's go. My next one is Charts and Charms Dimension. Here's the picture. This is Animal Magnetism. This is one that I started, and I had a lot of the elephant and the giraffe done, and the lion, hours and hours, and it got stolen, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. Over $500 worth of kitted stuff, and stitched on and started stuff. Anyway, I finally decided to start this again, and I'm still loving it. And I'm this far. I got to use this for a bunch of challenges this past year. And the last time I worked on it, I worked on here, and then I know that there's a problem in the ear somewhere. So I decided that I'd go ahead and work on the giraffe and deal with that part later, which is fine, because I need to fill in all this anyway, right? So the giraffe is getting done. A lot of the lion had gotten done. I think I had to put in white stitches or something like that, so I put that in for a challenge. But it's looking good. Looking good. I'm happy with it. I forget. This is a linen, and I think it might be one of those linens from like Carl's Craft or something. One of the tubes from Michael's and or Joann's. And this is in my Garon Toten Bags bag. I love these seals. Love them. Okay. Obviously, we've reached the big ones. My next one is on, I do believe this is 28 count. and it's a linen, and I'm learning a lesson from that. I've been debating on restarting this, but I'm not going to. I think I'm going to stay with it. It's on 28 count. I'm doing 1/1 on it, but I think for now on, if I'm going to use something other than an Ada, I need to use an even weave. I think that's going to make a difference, especially with a Haid. So this is the Priestess. Love her. Love her. And this is how far I've gotten on her. I started her last November, I think. I think that's when I started, around last November. And that's how much I've gotten done on her. There were some mistakes I had to fix in here, but I think I've got it on the right path now. This is yet another one that I need to go back, and I did start filling in all this stuff so I can go block by block. This shouldn't be so bad because I can finish off these blocks here, and then this block here, and down in here, and then I can go block by block. That's the plan, anyway. And this needle minder is from, I don't know if I mentioned, I know I didn't mention all of them, but this one is from Crystal over at the Jeweled Antler Co. on Etsy. It's so cute. It's a celestial whale. Actually, it's an orcas, and it's a fish, isn't it? It's a mammal. It's a whale. It's a killer whale. Oh my goodness. I have to go back to school, learn science all over again. Okay. Here's a nifty little thing. Because I have so many Haids, and some of them I already printed out all the stuff, I decided to use a folder for them. And one side is Priestess, and the other side is Blue Flame. So, and both of them use a lot of the same colors. So they even sit in the same bag using the same floss. That brings up Blue Flame next. And that's this one. This is the one I started over again because I didn't like the way it was stitching up. I was doing 2 threads over one. I do believe it was on 25 count, and it was really bulky, and I hated it. So I had a lot of this done in here, and I decided I might as well get it started all over again. And I chose a, what did I do this time? Did I even write it down? I think it's a 25 count. Oh. I did 28 count on that, but it's an even weave, so it's, I can't tell the difference between Joe One and Lagana. But here it is. There's purples and blacks and grays in there. A lot of it is black because I used it for a challenge where I can get a whole bunch of stitches in at once. So now I'm working again on filling in all the blocks. And that needle minder is also available on my Etsy. And or my Instagram. And or my Facebook group. Alright. It goes in this bag. Together. And last but not least, my latest, oh, there's another one missing. I don't have the picture. I might. Oh, I do. My goodness, I'm a hot mess. I didn't fully kit this, and that's why it's sort of in a bin over here on the side with just a couple of the threads I'm using. This is Spirit of the Dragonfly. I started this a couple of months ago. And I am using an easy grid. It's a 22 count. I started it September. And this Dragonfly needle minder was given to me by Stitching with a Dotson. She sent that to me. She's a sweetheart. Anyway, that's how far I got, and this was where I started the whole block by block, and that seems to work because it gives me more of a focus on what I'm going to stitch and where. Not bad. Yeah, this is, the blocks are 20 stitches across and down instead of 10. But instead of 10 by 10 like most of them are. But it is a 22 count fabric. That's how far I got on that one. And then, last but not least, is Aqua City. Aqua City is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm doing max color, so it's 237 colors. This is also on a 22 count, but it wasn't pre-gridded. I gridded it with that air disappearing ink. Look, it's magical disappearing ink. We should use that. Anyway, here it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I am determined that this looks like it is blue, not black. Can you see Belinda? Oh, look. Blue. Blue. All blue, not black. She's been giving me a hard time. Well, now it looks black. Now it's not. Not bad. I mean, I could have had a lot more done than this, but that's when I lost my full coverage mojo. I'm sure it'll come back. I've got enough of them to do, so I guess I could figure out something I want to work on. Oh, I almost forgot one. I have to count all these. I have not done a full count. This one, I forgot about this little sucker. This is a Mill Hill kit. Winter Wonderland. Again, I won't be using the bunny button, but this is where I'm at with it. I haven't worked on that in forever because I'm not a fan of 3 strands on perforated paper. But it is pretty. And now that I have the frame that gives me more purchase, I should probably get to finishing that up. I swear that's the last one. After I'm done that one, I'm going to torture myself with yet another one and start this one, which is Winter Woods. And I know that all of these are still available. They should be anyway. So if you're interested in any of them and can't find them, let me know. Maybe I know where to get them at. Maybe I can find a spot for you. Maybe I can tell you to Google it. I don't know. Yeah, there's options. There's options. That's it. That's all I got for the year. I did have finishes. I didn't pull out. I thought about pulling out all the finishes, but they're all over different spots. And a couple of them are actually framed or finished, and one of them's out the door, and it's just the way it goes. I think I finished a total of 8 or 9 this year, which isn't too bad. I mean, I have a lot of big ones going on, and I'm happy with what I got done. I did a lot of finishing for the people. I did a lot of sewing this year. I did a lot of bags, and that takes up a lot of time. And then just life in general. I don't want stitching to be a job and unenjoyable. This is I do it because I like to do it. I don't want to do it because I have to. And I'm finding that although I am aching to get some of this stuff done, and I gave myself a list of ones I want to get done. Now that I've done that, it's hard for me to stitch on them. It's like, don't tell me what the, my whole don't tell me what to do has kicked in, and now I'm like, meh, maybe I'll stitch on it, maybe I won't, you know? But I would like to finish this Christmas Elves one. If anybody's a quick stitcher and you're watching this now, you still have until the 20th to purchase this and get this stitched out to enter for a giveaway. She's drawing 5 different great prizes. So if you want it, it's a $12 chart. It's PDF. And one of the stipulations is that you have to use at least one of her threads. And you can get the threads from her, or you can get the threads. I know that Elizabeth from Dames and the Needle carries her threads. And you don't have to use the ones that are on chart. I didn't use one of them that was called for. I went on Elizabeth's Etsy and I looked at the colors and I said, oh, I like this, this, and this. Send me. So I had her send me like 5 different ones, and I'm using like 3 or 4. It's your preference. Anyway, even if you don't get to stitch it now, it's a cute chart, and she's got a couple of other cute ones that just came out. I was just looking at. I'm done. I will do my regular video in about a little over a week and show you probably the same stuff. Not everything though. Just a couple of the same things I just showed you. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more progress going on. And I did actually get a box from my friend Diana, so there's some stuff in there that's going to be for giveaways, future giveaways and stuff, and some that's mine. Mine. I hope everyone is enjoying their December. I hope you're getting your stitches in. I hope you're getting your finishes finished. And I hope you're making your plans for next year if you haven't gotten them all together. And I hope you get it done. I am not done figuring out what I want to do for next year, although I did find a little bit more focus on it. When I say that, I mean, I knew I wanted to sort of make plans, but I didn't know where to start, and now I have a starting point on all that stuff that's in that bag that says sweet right there. So, and then I have 2 more that I found when I was going through these that I haven't started yet, but that have been kitted to start this year. So, it'll get done, and maybe I'll have that ready to show you guys with my next video. Have a great holiday, whichever one you celebrate, and don't let them stress you out too much. Don't forget, don't let anybody steal your sunshine.